Yo, give me a mic check. Let me know if you can hear me. Ernest J, what's good, bro? Bro, I think I got that Cash App notification for September kickback. Yeah, I fixed that, bro. What's good? April, Dion, what's going on? Nikki Love, Tanya, what's happening? What's going on with y'all? TTHP, Truth Hurts. Man, I don't have my mouse today. So stuff is like on my touchpad, and I hate using my touchpad, man. I'm so acclimated to the mouse. So today's conversation was going to be about, you tell me where you got Neptune. Majority of us probably going to have Neptune in Sagittarius and Capricorn, probably even up to Aquarius. However, the house placement is going to be totally different for majority of us. So today's conversation is really about that because my silly butt left my mouse. And so I don't have my mouse to make this thing real fluent and so I can move fast as I want to move. Rich Wealthy, what's good? Janelle Speaks, what's going on? Sean Harris, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? But yeah, man, thumbs up, everybody. Let's make it match the people in the room. So this thing can start kicking off, man. We're going to kick off like at 3:15. However, let me see something, man. 1983 TTHP, the truth hurts. I would really need a birth time and a city of birth to make this really worthwhile. All right. To really make it worthwhile. But today is not free readings. But the pre-show, we could do that for the pre-show. I don't mind. Let me get a fresh piece of scrap paper. Coach Michael, what's going on? The Eye of Texas, what's up? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Belleville, Illinois. So, hold on. 1983. 2:06. What p.m. in Belleville? Let me see something real fast. All right, so everybody, welcome to the pre-show. We're gonna get started at 1:15. I'm sorry, at 3:15 Eastern. What you say, 1983? We're gonna get into Neptune. I'm gonna show you how to identify Neptune by looking at this chart right here. I'm about to pull up. 2:06 p.m. 2:06 p.m. That's in Bell. What? Belleville, Illinois. Bam. 38 degrees north of the equator. All right. So do me a favor, y'all. Click the thumbs up button for me. I'm about to share my screen so y'all can see this chart that I got pulled up. Bam. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. We don't need that stuff. Bam. All right. So this is I don't need my headphones. So this is the truth hurts in the chat. So today's conversation, we're going to talk about the planet Neptune, ladies and gentlemen. Simply because Neptune is the one that's going to show us the power of the imagination. Okay. This is the aspect of your own consciousness that allow you to obtain pretty much the highest state of consciousness that you can get. All right. So Neptune is this little fella right here in house number 7. Sort of look like a pitchfork. But if you're on astro.com, guess what? You can scroll down to the bottom and they're going to tell you which one is Neptune. And they're going to say, hey, man, you got it at 27 degrees, Sagittarius, 34 minutes, 8 seconds. That's what it's telling you in blue. And blue is where it was at when you were born. I'm really concerned about where Neptune, what house is it in? Because today's conversation, we're going to really get into what area should you be putting your super focus, your Christ-like consciousness, your imagination. What area of your life should you be applying this? All right. All right. So for the quick read, though, the first thing that I'm seeing off the rip is a cluster of energy over here in Aquarius in the ninth house. Look over here at house number 9. See, they got Mercury at number 1 in retrograde. They got Juno in Aquarius. They got Venus in Aquarius. And they got Mars in Aquarius. So although he's a Capricorn, I'm assuming it's a he, they have a lot of energy over here in Aquarius. And then I know Saturn in the sky is here. And Jupiter is here. Okay. So the ninth house is the house of philosophies, man. It's the house of travel. It's the house of learning information. This is the period of time where you absolutely should be working towards expanding consciousness, really learning. This is kind of like going back to school. You can make it a physical school if you want to, or it could be about you learning off YouTube University, or you going to an ashram and learning some type of spiritual science. It's totally up to you. But what the energy is right now is putting some, it's activating is the key. It's activating this area of your life. Now, Jupiter is about to get ready to go direct in the end of the year pretty soon, and then it's going to skirt off into Pisces, and Jupiter is going to be all in your 10th. So this represents a time where you can really expand career-wise. This is time that you should start seeing some type of promotion. Usually it's going to be for a year, okay? So if we pay attention to this green figure where my cursor is at the top that looks like the number 4, that's where the planet is today on September 29th. That's why it's in green. Well, this whole house number 10, Jupiter is going to be in house number 10 easily for a year. So that means the aspect of expanding in career, public. If you're an entrepreneur, this is time for you to really get out there and put yourself out in the public. Aquarius, where it is now, wants you to utilize technologies and social networking. So this is the perfect time for you to use, like, conference calls, webinars, guest appearances, all that kind of stuff, utilizing friends and technology to help you expand your career is the key. All right. So this is big favorable growth for you at this time. And don't do anything illegal as well. All right. So that's where that energy sits at, man, for you, sir or ma'am. All right. All right. All right. So that's where it falls, man. At yes, the early bird gets the worm. Raymond L. What up, man? What up? What up? What up? You driving? You driving? Salon E for life. What's good? All right. Letitia. Who is that? Latia. Am I saying that right? Or is it Letitia? What's going on? What's happening? In the 6th house. Kim Bailey, what's up, girl? I sent you an email. You got some money. Oh, you got some money. Did you get that email, Kim? You got some money. I mean, some big money. I need you to really activate what we're talking about today and go dumb and check those 2 links that I sent you and like zone everything else out and really make those 2 things like your 2 practices. And it's kind of like, and I'm gonna talk about that. You got to rehearse for this stuff. It's like rehearsing for a movie. You know what I'm saying? And what you're rehearsing for is your imaginal act of getting into the feeling that it is real. That is absolutely the key to this. All right. Absolutely the key to it. All right. So we're going to get started at 3:15. I need the thumbs up button so we can make it happen. What up, Tanisha? What's happening? I need thumbs up button though, so we can make it happen. Get everybody up in here. We get started in about what 6 minutes. 6 minutes. We're gonna make it happen. Jew is messing with me. He said I'm in the retrograde. I'm messing with this right now. In the second coming of Christ, the resurrection of Christ within you. This is volume 2 by Paramahamsa Yogananda. Good book, great information, especially when you get into relationships. Oh, you in trouble. Hey, those of you who got Neptune in the 7th, because I seen y'all, I'm gonna tell you what your relationships is, what he's really saying, which is my favorite kind of relationship. Hold on. Let me see if the kid can find some highlights. Ooh. Let's see. Y'all see that? Oh, y'all can't see what it say. We're gonna read this top one. There we go. When a man and a woman are united as true soulmates, they will be one. All right, they will be one flesh. They will act in harmony and unison in body, mind, and soul. Their souls will not act with different ideals, but as two bodies, two minds, two souls with one idea. God damn, that's heavy. All right. Man, it got some good stuff in this particular chapter. Let me see. So, Neptune, what you say, Sankofa John? Neptune R. Oh, if it say RX, that's gonna be retrograde. All right. Already seeing the sea. Ooh, gotcha. You on that Lakshmi thing? That was my thing right there. That was my boo. I would say I haven't been in the Indian pantheon in a minute. But yeah, I was definitely dealing with some Lakshmi. Shakti too, you know. Because Shiva came to me one year. We had did a bull meditation, maybe in 2012. We had did a bull meditation, and it had to be in a new moon. And that night I went to sleep, and this robot entity type of thing was trying to get in this farm that we had. And for some reason I started yelling the name Shiva. Now I ain't studied Shiva, none of that shit. I didn't study the Indian pantheon at that time. And for some reason I was saying Shiva, and every time I would say Shiva, it would cause a glitch in this machines. This robot is like a robot human. It would cause a glitch. And I remember thinking that the bull was over there in the yard, and I didn't want to excite the bull because I was on the side of the fence with the bull as this robot entity was trying to get in. And so I retreated back to the barn and stood by the door, because normally if something comes in, it's not going to, it's just going to come in. And so I was standing right by the door. As soon as it got close enough, I had lunged so hard, like some type of spear was in my hand. I lunged so hard. You know how you do something so hard in your dream and it wakes you up? So it kind of kicked me out of my sleep. And come to find out that, see, the Indian gods have an animal that they ride known as a mount. And come to find out that Shiva's mount is a bull named Namdi. And I said, oh, so when I did the bull meditation with everybody, I activated the Shiva energy within myself. You see what I'm saying? And then you just got to know which Shiva really represents in that certain aspect of your own consciousness that you align with. Everybody is made up of a plethora of all of the gods and goddesses, because all of them are simply different representations of personality types. Lakshmi represents the aspect that deals with material wealth and riches, right? Shakti could deal more with a feminine energy of movement. right? And so you have these, they just represent different aspects. Just like if you go to the Egyptian pantheon and you deal with Heru, and you deal with Ra, you deal with Anubis, which is Anpu, you deal with Osiris, you deal with Met, you deal with Set, you deal with Horus, you deal with, Isis, you deal with Nephthys, you deal with Sebdet. You understand what I'm saying? These are all different personifications of the human psychology. You take it to the Greek, which are really the planets. You know what I'm saying? You deal with Aries, and which is war, and Apollo, the masculine sun, and Diana, the moon, and the female, and Aphrodite, this beautiful woman of Friday, and things of that nature. Neptune, the god of the seas and stuff. So these are different aspects of your mind. They're not necessarily these invisible entities that's off somewhere. But if you believe that the way that this universe works, you will concoct that. You understand what I'm saying? There's studies that show that what you will call an external entity is a projection of your own mind that's being externalized, and you created this shadow figure, okay, based off what you have going on inside of the mind, whether it's in your subconscious and you're not aware of it, or whether it's the power of your conscious thought, okay? All right. So let's get this party started. Thumbs up, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Real fast. Today's conversation is going to be about the planet Neptune. I'm not going to read you. I want you to tell me what house is Neptune in, and I am going to share with you some insight. The first thing is this. Let's look at some keywords of the planet Neptune real fast. Let me share my screen. What I got going on here? Well, I got some tree hugging stuff up. All right, so Neptune. On the negative aspect, you have alcohol, you have deception, you have the insane asylum. You can go delusional here. Shit, you just totally out your fucking mind. Evasion, in a sense, disappearance, that Kelly Price shit. You know what I'm saying? Hallucination, shit you think is real just ain't real. It's also an obsession of some sort. Drugs could be another thing on a negative aspect. Confusion can be a negative thing as well. This is the planet of lies and secret enemies and deceit. On the high side of it, it's your imagination. It's transcendence, which is very interesting. It's hypnotism. It's divinity. Okay. It's humanitarianism. They give it as well. Okay. Also music. It is also intuition. All right. Now, the reason that I like, one of my favorite keywords for Neptune is transcendence, because what's really happening is transcendental consciousness is the super ability, or what Yogananda will call cosmic consciousness, is when you become aware that you are indeed one with the creative force in the universe. And shout out to Namdi the bull behind me as well. Shout out to my man Namdi in the he's in the Astro Club. But this is the I am that's inside of you that you must become aware of. Now, when you're dealing with this particular aspect of consciousness, because it deals with vapors, it deals with invisible, it's like air, it's elusive. That's why a keyword is escapism. And somebody bumping this drink, and I can get scared. I'm trying to figure out which they move. All right. You deal with escapism. This is the aspect of consciousness that really does not rely on the physical. In fact, it don't rely on the physical. That's why a keyword is mystical. It doesn't rely on the physical plane. It interacts with the physical plane, but that aspect of consciousness is really pure spirit. This is what I mean. Because remember, a key word for Neptune is dream and daydream. But I want to talk to the part of you that falls asleep and you go off and you have this experience. You know what it's like to have an experience in the dream world and you stop breathing and gasping for air for whatever reason, or you fall and you wake up out of your sleep, or you have a sexual experience when you're asleep as if it was real. Some people can even wake up with scars. My mom wake up, she's one of those people that can have bruises on her from when she go to sleep and shit. Okay. There's a story from, I forget her name. Her name may be Bernadette, Saint Bernadette. Well, every Friday, the Passion of the Christ will play out, and her hands will start to take on the forms of Jesus Christ. Now, Christ could be a mythical figure and could have never walked on a planet Earth, but it's written in a way to really define states of consciousness. But the power of your belief in your faith, don't care if it's true or false, you can take on that which you believe. So the part of you that travels while asleep, that's the part that's not necessarily dependent upon the physical realm. It is and it ain't. I gotta be real clear with that when I say that. It is because it has to have the experience. Clearly, it is because based off of which you physically feed your mind, what you read, what you practice, what you engage in, what you eat as well, it's all having an effect on the spiritual man and woman inside of you, without a shadow of a doubt. Okay. K Money, what up? All right. So everything is dependent. There's absolutely no such thing as independence. I understand that thoroughly when I say that. But when I say it's not dependent upon you, it exists as its own thing. But trust me, everything interweaves with one another, and everything is absolutely codependent upon each other, without a shadow of a doubt. So I just want to be clear. Remember, in this mystery school, you have to understand that this whole shit is an oxymoron. You live in a place, and I always get the example of the cosmic illusion. You live in a place where the moon is full, and then 2 days later, it's no longer full, and you see more of the left side, and you don't see some of the right side of the moon. That happens in our reality. This shit look like the moon is shrinking, and then it look like it's gaining in shape and form, and look like it's becoming full. It look like the sun rise and set, and you don't never see the light when it's in the north and shit, and the earth is spinning, and you don't feel it spin. Like, this whole shit is a great cosmic illusion for us to detach from. Because remember, Neptune represents the aspect of detachment. And this is supposed to be your highest level of consciousness, which it is, because once you get bogged down in the hardcore reality of the attachment, you miss the glory of the oxymoron. The oxymoron, and remember, in the old systems was what? The symbol was the snake biting its tail. It's eternity. That's the oxymoron. You understand what I'm saying? All right, this is why if you go study the Kabbalion, the seven Hermetic principles, what do they tell you? They say, hey man, all truths are but half truths, and all paradoxes can be reconciled. And I always love that statement, because it's like, what do you mean all truths are but half truths? My truth is truth. No, what you mean? All truths are but half truths, because you're going to see it one way, and that's the truth. I'm going to see it one way, that's the truth. And then the paradox can be reconciled, which means what? The reconciliation of the paradox means this: both of you are right and wrong at the same time. That's the shit. You're right and wrong at the same time. This is why when you open up anything, when you take a battery, the battery has a positive pole and a negative pole, right? That's the oxymoron. So in order for light to exist, which is the akin to consciousness, in order for it to exist, there must be polarity, or what we call duality. So when we got polarity and duality, that's the oxymoron. The man and the woman comes together and then they go recreate. Yo, Carrie, I got you, bro. I texted the Jew. Yeah, look, I got you, man. I just went ahead and I shipped your book out, man. So you should have it. They said Saturday. I shipped it priority. It may get there faster and whatnot. But yeah, I sent it to you, bro. All right. So that's the oxymoron. All right. So now it's very clear in this book, Yogananda says something very important as it pertains to dealing with the karma. Saswana, what's happening? Peace. When it comes to dealing with the karma of yourself and individuals, but certain people can take the karma away from other individuals. You understand what I'm saying? But in order to get to I'm going to say, a divine healing state. What do I mean by divine? Because remember, Neptune is divinity. Ain't nobody other planet got that goddamn name, got that keyword. Divinity is the key. But when I say divinity, I'm talking that Jesus Christ story. I'm talking, let me pray on you, and then all of a sudden your ass ain't got no damn shit no more. It's gone instantly. Okay, I'm talking about that. You understand what I'm saying? Hey man, I don't follow sports. I'm just letting you know I just wear colors, man, that I like to wear. I don't watch nothing on the sports. I get all my sport news from Jew to stay abreast of what's going on. I do not watch not one game a year. I don't do it. But anyway, and so to get into the divine healing mode, Yogananda has said something interesting where it deals with constant prayer for cosmic consciousness. And cosmic consciousness ain't about you learning the rotations. That's part of it, but it ain't solely that. Constant communion with the Creator and he said, purification, fasting. Okay? All right. So what you say? Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, I don't play games and shit, man. So I'm the party pooper and shit. I want to be the owner of the team or some shit. But so now this is the part of you that is going to come for real, like literally come online and go bananas. All right. But I'm just telling you, I'm gonna tell you something, man. This boy here was a bad boy. You say what you want to say about this. Listen. Say what you want to say. This dude here, Yogananda, man, this dude died while giving a speech on purpose. Told his people, his supporters, the hour is near, the time is near. Gave a speech and said some shit like, when this hollow body hits the sod, and was like, bam. As soon as he said sod, his body fell back. And here's the kicker. They shipped his body back to India, and his body didn't have absolutely no decay. It had a beautiful aroma that was coming from the body. All right. Now, Minister Jew's little silly self, he in here. He was saying this shit one day. For some reason, I don't know what the hell made him say this. He walking around saying this shit, and all of a sudden he started feeling some shit, and he had to stop saying that shit. He shouldn't have been saying it any damn way, right? But this dude ain't no joke. But the part of consciousness that I want to talk about, then we get into Neptune in your chart. This is the part of, listen, these guys know how to shut the body systems down and depart from the body, and then come back an hour later, 30 minutes later, 3 hours later, upon will, and all vitals, no heartbeat, no brainwave, no nothing, no vitality. Because that which makes us alive They are so in tune with that, they know how to ride that. Okay. That's a whole nother level. A whole nother level. Well, to give you some sneak peeks into what area of your life that you can use this divine power, which, by the way, can be employed in all areas of life of your desire, okay? But the location of where it is or was when you were born is going to give precedence of priority to all the other ones, because the planet can only be in one location, so we think. This book is The Second Coming of Christ, The Resurrection of Christ Within You. It's a 2-part book. They come together, 1 and 2, at least mine did. 1 and 2 is what I'm talking about here, okay? All right. So now, give it to me. Where do you have Neptune? I'll go first and put it in the chat, and let's just talk about it. And I really can just go through Neptune through the houses, but just say what house you got it in. Because remember, it takes the planet approximately 14 years to go through a zodiac sign. So there's going to be a large group of us maybe who got it in Sag. And then the next generation of people is going to have it over there in Cap. And then some of y'all going to have it in Aquarius. Okay. Some of y'all young cats. All right. All right. So Katrina has it in the 12th, conjuncts the ascendant, which is like having Neptune on your head. Now, it can only be in one, so let's just go with the 12. This is the native home of Neptune. Neptune rules the 12th house. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand that. Let me show you what the 12th house looks like, okay? I'll show you on paper, but hold on, let me go get my program up. Let me see something real fast. All right, so let me share my screen. Oh man, Drew, I gotta send you the link, man, so we can build on this thing. All right. So on paper, Katrina says, "Hey, I got Neptune in the 12th as conjunct my AC, so it'll be over here on the left." Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a 2D rendition of space. What's really happening when you have something in the 12th house, like the sun, for example, okay? This is the east is the AC, okay? That's the AC, the eastern point of the sky, okay? Now, when the sun comes up and starts to travel throughout the day, that's your 12th house. The first 2 hours of sunrise, when the sun is on the eastern horizon, that's the 12th house, okay? Now, I'm at the equator, so the time is looking crazy to you. So let me give it to you in terms of the United States, where majority of us may be, okay? Okay, so now this time of year in Philadelphia, let's just say almost at 7 o'clock in the morning, the sun is in the east. Well, as the sun progresses for the next 2 hours, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, this eastern portion of the sky, which is approximately about 30 degrees due east, okay? If you go due east and go 30 degrees to the right, this is the 12th house. So in other words, this is the region in which the planets appear to rise, okay? The planets rise right here. And when planets are coming up on the horizon, what happens? They look big. And this area of space is the most sensitive area of space, because it's not that the planets are coming up. The Earth, your portion of it, is spinning into it. That's the key. That's a program, Rob. That's a program called Stellarium. It's a free download. Stellarium. Stellarium. Okay. All right. So the Earth is spinning into that energy. Now, if you got it in the 12th house, it rules the 12th house. All things is extremely activated now. It just simply deals with that definition. So again, what is Neptune in the 12th house? Man, shit, this is spirituality. This is music. This is poetry, right? This is also the house of self-undoing Here's a secret, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you some good game. Oh, I'll give you some good game. A person who may disagree with you when you have the moon going through the 12th house could be your secret enemy. You want to flush your secret enemies out, your haters, especially for you that are entrepreneurs in a sense, or you got something to say, you got a little something to say because you like talking or whatever. Run your mouth, make your post, say something that's a little bit controversial, make a stance, and see who come out the woodworks when something's going through your 12th house is going to give you indication on who your secret enemy is. Okay? All right? But ultimately, Neptune in 12th, since it's at home, all senses are highly activated, and you definitely should be doing things to cultivate higher self. This is meditation, imagination, things of that nature, without a shadow of a doubt. You have to do these things. You're mandated to do it. And when it's close to your ascendant, it's like the energy is on your head. So the energy permeates straight from your consciousness easily when you got Neptune on the ascendant like that. Okay? Manifesting bliss, what's up? All right. So yeah, you have to find you a practice to cultivate higher self. It could be yogas, whatever it may be when you got Neptune in the 12th. All right. Neptune in the 10th, Jason, Neptune in the 10th gives way to that's funny. Using that superpower as it pertains to career, as it pertains to success, as it pertains to public image as well. You know what I'm saying? Being out in the public. More on the physical plane, and I'm not really addressing the physical plane because the 10th house is like career, you know, let's just say Sagittarius. If it wasn't Sag, then it's law. 10th house is government. Oh, you could be working as, you know, a judge of some sort. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But today's conversation is the superpower of the imagination, super consciousness, and then being able to use that energy in that house sector so you can materialize more of that particular energy that it represents. So the 10th house is success, your ambition, your goal, your career. You understand what I'm saying? And so you use it towards that. Always, always, always visualizing the paychecks coming in, the phone calls coming in from whatever you got going on. Hold on, y'all. We got some real estate stuff popping. Hold on. Hey, what up, bro? Hey, bro, I'm about to pull up at your house in a minute to pick up the door. All right. I'll tell you to put them out there. All right. Okay, they'll be outside for you. Okay. All right. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, man. Got to drop off this pack. I got me some hold on. Hold on downstairs. Hold on 1 second. Downstairs. Derwin coming. Okay, y'all. All right. So all right. So let me see. All right, let me see. Where we at? Where is 7th house Sag, rich, wealthy, 7th house Neptunes. All right, I'm gonna take notes. We did the 12th. All right, let me write that down. The 7th house, that shit is all about soulmates. That shit there demands that you have a spiritual companion in a relationship where y'all see the same spirit shit. Like y'all meditate together, y'all, you know, especially if it's in Sag and y'all willing to travel the world together. Y'all got the same spiritual core. If you got Neptune in the 7th, and you can't play with that, because see, what y'all got to understand is energy, and it's very seldom that the energy remains neutral. What did I say? Energy does 3 things, ladies and gentlemen. Either it's going to be neutral and it ain't going to do nothing, or it's going to go extreme positive, or it's going to go extreme negative. It's your job to direct the current of where you want it to go. So if you sit back and do nothing, the potential of the negative shit coming is just amplified because you're not activating the positive side of the pole. And oftentimes, especially in America, we get the negative shit that pushes us into a positive transformation, right? Neptune is the planet of lockup. That's the Detroit Red Malcolm X syndrome. You go through a spiritual metamorphosis when you inside the cell. You understand what I'm saying? Most people, okay? Because it's the same energy. It's just the opposite side of the spectrum now. I'm going to become Malcolm X. I ain't going to be Detroit Red no more, okay? All right. So if you got it in the 7th, then it's about spiritual partnerships. It could be business, close friendships, and or husband and wife type stuff. It needs to be a spiritual union when you have Neptune in the 7th. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it, because then it's going to turn into deception. And you can get the best of both sides. It could be lies, deception, somebody cheating, you don't know, you're sleeping with the enemy. And you got to be careful with Neptune, because Neptune rules weird ass diseases. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be very careful when you're playing with Neptune. All right. Now, those of you who got Neptune in the 6th, like I got it in the 6th, then the 6th house is day-to-day work. You can do this as a job, nigga. In the 6th house, you can do this as a jiggity job, right? When it comes to spirituality, music, like you can do this every single day. But I love Neptune in the 6th because this is going to be the 6th house's health. And if Neptune is the imagination, then I can imagine health, right? Or I can put you in a state of hypnosis, because Neptune is hypnosis, which simply means you're relaxed enough to get into your own subconscious and superconscious. So now that you relax enough to get in your own subconscious, your own superconscious, then this could be a healing apparatus for you. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got Neptune in the 6th. So if you got Neptune in the 6th, you are inside of the mystical healing order, and you need to learn some shit and activate that, okay? You're definitely in the mystical healing order with Neptune in the 6th. And I dare say Neptune in the 8th, okay? So let's talk about Neptune in the 8th real fast. Neptune in the 8th, the first order of business on the physical plane. You need to get with your mama, you need to get with your daddy. And you need to see what they are going to leave you through an inheritance and know this shit. Because if you have, let's just say, Moon opposite Neptune, Saturn opposite Neptune, Sun opposite Neptune, these represent parental energies, and Neptune represents deception, and the 8th house is an inheritance. Somebody can deceive you about some money. So one parent can leave you some money and the other parent lying to you, saying you ain't get shit. Or a sibling. If the Mercury's involved, Mercury opposite Neptune, Mercury is your brothers and sisters. And so since it's opposite Neptune, Neptune is deception, they lying like, oh, no, daddy ain't leave you nothing. And daddy left you something. So you got to make sure that your affairs, when it comes to inheritances and stuff, are absolutely in order, because somebody can lie and steal it from you. And when it comes to joint bank accounts, you have to be hella careful on who you allow to have access to it. Because if you have Neptune in the 8th, especially on Astro with red lines going to it, you are a little bit more prime for the manifestation of thievery to occur. Okay. All right. Now, I'm gonna get to y'all in a second, because I want to talk about divine order. Everything happened in divine order, right? Without a shadow of a doubt, it's karma shit. All right. So, because I think what I'm about to share with you is relative. All right. Because when I talk about the stealing of inheritance, that could be your karma. You could have did some shit in this lifetime or a previous lifetime that justify why somebody should steal from you. Now, I have been a part of doing an armed robbery before, okay? So I've done an armed robbery before in my teenage years and shit. And sure enough, I've been robbed too at gunpoint years later. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't no joke. You understand? You get caught slipping. I had 2 niggas at the same time try to rob me, and when the one came in front, because the one was behind me, I had to mob that motherfucker so hard and ran forward because this nigga got an extended pistol on him with a big ass clip, and the other nigga got a gun on me, and I just know they about to start shooting me. So you ain't about to abduct me, nigga. We gonna either rumble or I'm gonna escape. One of the two. So when a nigga lift up his shirt, nigga, boom, right? But that's karma. So I understand that looking back, like, oh shit, I robbed. So then I got robbed, right? I'm sharing that to say that you really have to mind your energy. You have to. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about that shit. Now, the killer part is the person who's doing this shit don't know that they're under the suggestion of I'm your karmic retribution. I'm your karmic payback. I'll give you a better example. So one of my properties, a property that I rent, the owner's gonna sell it. He said he's gonna sell it for $180. I said, cool, let's do it. And then he says, I get, I said, I ain't start the financing yet, but let me know if you want me to do it. He said, man, I'm getting some offers, but go ahead, let's do it. I said, all right, cool. And so I was like, no, he ended up saying, listen, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and list it. I said, well, shit, since I didn't put the application in with the bank because you didn't give me the green light, I said, at least let me go ahead and list it and make some money. You know what I'm saying? I done spent over 40,000 with you so far that I done been with you. I done spent 40,000 with you. Let me get some of my money. You know what I mean? Let me get some money too. And then I'm like, so he's like, all right, cool. I said, just give me, I said, give me 2 weeks. And he said, man, I can give you a week. I said, shit, that's kind of tough, but fuck it. I'll take it. I'll take a week. So I said, I want my, when can people come and see your side? Because it's a duplex. When can people come over and see your side? And he was like, well, I'll let my realtor know on Monday. I said, realtor? I said, wait a minute. I said, I thought you gave me an exclusive right to it for a week. If your realtor gonna get involved, then it's really no need for a realtor, because if they put it on the MLS, then my buyers are gonna see it. And so I'm trying to get this thing going off market. Well, I'll let my realtor know. I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? And so this shit ended up selling for like $260, right? Mind you, we were supposed to go at $180 and end up selling for $260, right? And so this was a big ass payday, like what, an $80,000 payday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, shit, if he agreed to the 180 with me, I'm about to make a $80,000 motherfucking payday. Lord knows I need this one. I need this $80,000 payday. So he totally just reneged on me, and I'm motherfucking salty in the inside. I'm talking about I'm salty. Man, he don't even look at me. You know what I'm saying? About last week, a week to a week and a half ago, we just started speaking because I was on some petty shit for a minute. Like, I ain't speaking to you. You don't speak to me. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at this shit because, I know the shit. And I'm looking at this shit like, nigga, what's it? So the question you would have, nigga, what's in your karma to make this motherfucker renege on you on some money? Nigga, you been shady to some money. I'm straight. Okay, the past is the past. You know what I'm saying? Many years ago, teenage shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but I'm not giving him the excuse because he don't know. He don't know. You didn't keep your word. You know what I'm saying? And my word is everything. Like, you didn't keep your word, so he don't know that he's really the agent playing out some shit for me to get a lesson. So I'm not accepting this shit because, nigga, you should have held your word, period. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm telling you that to say this. Mind your energy, your own karma. And that goes to that attachment part. And the part of Neptune is it don't deal with the attachment shit. You understand what I'm saying? It don't deal with that. All right. And so really mind this shit. All right. Because you got to watch how you respond to shit. I tell you all the time, watch how you respond internally to some things. It ain't about what you do. It's about what you feel. Right. You get that phone call, you ain't did shit, but you feel some type of way. That's a chemical release. And then your cellular field emits that shit out into space ether. And it's game on. It's all this shit want to do is just play this game with you. Okay. And when I say this shit is really your higher self. So the goal is to become like the Buddhists, is to not have emotional attachment to outcomes. That's the name of the game. Okay. All right. It's hard to do, but it's fun to do as well. All right. All right. All right. So the eighth house, watch your joint finances. The key here, though, is I'll tap into some healing in the eighth, because the eighth house is a Scorpio frequency, which deals with surgery. And it's the bomb diggy on intuitively figuring out occult hidden information, in a sense. The bomb diggy. Okay. And to use that imagination towards increasing other people's money, the joint accounts and stuff like that, the partnerships and stuff, man, you can accelerate some things. So if you got it in the eighth house, you're really supposed to have a financial goal with a team member or your sexual partner, because the eighth house is sexual partners. And then y'all got Neptune in the eighth, or you got Neptune in the eighth, then you constantly visualize on the goal. Now, the eighth house is the house of sex. So to me, in my head, the way I see this shit is like, oh, that's simple. Only thing you got to do is put the motherfucking goal, blast that shit on the wall, take the TV down, or fuck it, keep the TV. You got a smart TV, put the image of what you want on the TV and what the goal is, and then y'all can consummate to that particular image, because it's talking about sex and imagination in the eighth house. That's a dope ass placement to have, because it ain't no separation. The two become married. Sex and imagination become married. If you got Neptune in the eighth, you are blessed. Okay. All right. So let's move down to the fifth house. Sanchia got it in the fifth. The fifth, I got you, Michael, in the ninth. The fifth house is the house of children and creativity and love and romance. I say it all the time, I don't know how you can't shortstop the word creativity. You got the jurisdiction to do whatever you want when you have anything in the fifth house. So with Neptune in the fifth house, you damn sure about to go bananas in your imaginal acts, because it's creative. But here's the key, though. It's the shit that you love to do and that you have fun doing, because the fifth house is love and fun. This is also spiritual children. So if you have children, to see them, imagining them doing well, your imagination can easily transfer over to them, and them also doing some type of practice, because they're spiritual kids. When you have Neptune in the fifth, that's a pretty dope placement as well. So I like that, but use it towards the things that you have fun. And guess what? You can use it towards romance, because fifth house is your lover. You know what I mean? So it can go in that area as well. Ninth house, that's pure D philosophies in studying spiritual texts. Like, you can go learn a different language and read Meta and all the Sanskrit and shit, and really get it popping, and have a strong intuitive side of you also, that's going to lead you to let you know what these ancient things are. So Neptune, and that's like Neptune and Sagittarius, is a whole group of us that got that, right? That's me, the Jews, like that. It's the 70s, 80s in that era. So Neptune in the ninth house just gives way for great spiritual, philosophical, religious understanding. Don't be dogmatic, be spiritual about it. And you may travel out of the country to study a particular spiritual discipline. So that'd be pretty dope as well. Okay, so that's the ninth. Tammy, where you been? We did the 12th. The 12th is just Neptune times 2. Spirituality, you got to do something with, you got to do something that practices the cultivation of higher self. And then it's going to be on 2 things: severe, constant imagination, severe, constant meditation. One is feminine and one is masculine in my book. To me, imagination is masculine, because you get to conjure up an image, and then you get to constantly concentrate on it, like a sperm is trying to find an egg. Whereas meditation is feminine because it's not that you're necessarily having a particular vision and goal in mind. You're just concentrating maybe on the third eye, and allowing to whatever come in. And I love that form because divine perception kicked in for me doing those practices where, you know, somebody eating cookies in the middle of my meditation, somebody eating cookies, but the next time I talk to them, they're like, boy, these cookies are so good. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what that was. I was receiving the information beforehand because I was in that state. It's all information. All the information that you ever want to know is around you. The question is, can you tune in and get it? And you do all the time because your thoughts are so random. You're not necessarily generating a thought from within. You're receiving it because there's so many thoughts around you in the universe. All right. All right. All right. So we did the 10th. All right. The third house, Tanya, the third house. Third house is a learner, learning. It's the Gemini frequency. So learning, spirituality. But here's the kicker. You got something to say, right? So you've been around long enough in different schools of thoughts to learn spiritual sciences where one day, you know, you have to share that information, whether you write a blog or whether you do something, it has to come out of you because it's the house of communication. It's the house of learning. In order to learn something, it's also heavily associated with teaching. See what I'm saying? So Neptune in the third wants you to focus your imaginal acts on the things that you learn. And especially if you do create it, then you will have say you got a course, you know what I'm saying? Then you use it towards that course as well. Not only do you show people how to do it, but the success of it is also being propelled by it, if that makes sense, right? But you are a teacher. Neptune in the third, this person is a medium. They speak to spirit. They speak from spirit as well. This is a classic marker for a medium. The 12th house and the third house definitely, even the fourth as well. And I'll move on to the 8th as well. The 12th, the third, the fourth, the 8th. Though you got Neptune in those houses, you a medium, especially the 3rd, 4th, and 12th. Not that the 8th don't, but you got more of a medium vibe. It would be interesting to see, for you to see, you know, what your psychic ability is. So doing psychic practices would be dope when you got Neptune in the third. You got to train yourself on some Edgar Casey shit, on some next level shit. Neptune in the third. Neptune in the third, you can be a psyop for the CIA and do some remote viewing and shit. That's a heavy placement. Neptune in the third. Okay. All right. Katoosh. The first house. The first house is my least favorite house, man. Simply because the first house to me represents action. Some say it's your self-appearance. It's the image that you give off to others, but it's yourself. But to me, it's the house that starts everything, and all the other houses fall in line after it. And since it's ruled by Aries, it's action. But since it's self, it's the most dominant thing as well, next to your sun sign. So Neptune in the first, again, it's like that's on your head. It's here because the first house corresponds with Aries, and Aries rules the head. So the first house is here. So now the spirit is here. See, think about it like this. Okay. Aries is the head, the first. Okay. If Neptune's there, the super consciousness resides here within the systems or the physiological location of the body. If it's in Taurus, it's here in the throat. If it's in Gemini, it's in your lungs. in your arms, hands. Okay. If it's in Cancer in the fourth, it's your stomach, it's your breast. If it's Leo, it's your heart, it's your back, which is the spine. Virgo, the intestines, which is number 6. Libra, number 7, is your kidneys, your urinary system. Scorpio, the sexual energy we talked about, the sexual reproductive organs is where it's at. Also could be a piece of your excretory system. Sagittarius, the 9th, is going to deal with more of the liver, the sciatic nerve, hips and thighs. Capricorn, bones, skin, teeth, hair. Okay. Aquarius could be more of your circulatory system, not circulatory, more of your nervous system. Pisces, the 12th, could be in your feet and lymphatic system. Cancer, also lymphatic system. I've given you bodily parts, which also corresponds to a bodily system. Okay. So only thing you got to do is just put it together. Okay. But in the first, it's on your head. So it's the shit that you emanate. There's like a direct super download, easy for you to tap in. One of the more easier placements because of its physical location within the body. Okay. All right. If you got it in the second house, I ain't seen nobody with that. Then this it's the imagining money. Here's a technique that we practice, and y'all all know about it. And I don't mind sharing this stuff with y'all because I really want humanity to advance. But most importantly, the group synergy helps produce a better effect anyway because it's more people involved. And this is where the memberships become very important because it's a synergy that's there. If you got Neptune in the second, even if you don't, you still can do this practice. Check for the check. This is where you open your mail, you go to your mailbox knowing that a check is going to be there. And you open the piece of mail as if it was a check. And you be ecstatic when you open the mail as if it was a check. Depending on your own individual energy, you're going to manifest a check. Some of you are going to get a check. Do it for the next 30 days. One practice I always say that I never, ever gave up was writing, thank you for providing internet. Thank you, Comcast, for providing internet for my business, right? Writing thank you on my bills because I understand I'm paying somebody else's bill and putting food on the table. But most importantly, they gave me a service that I absolutely need. So I'm thankful for the bill. And periodically, on more than 2 occasions, a few occasions, I'll get a bill and the bill will be like, oh, you don't owe anything. You know what I mean? And I can show you that. It's one of the pictures I absolutely got loaded up. You know what I'm saying? That you can manipulate it. If you've never seen this before, those of you who've been with me before, you've seen it. But I'll share it to you newbies. May have some newbies up in here. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, this is probably 2014. And if you look closely, I said my previous balance was 6908. And then I got new charges of 6908, and I owe them $138.16 because 6908 times 2 is 138.16. And it's due on 11/22/2014. Now, y'all do know it is a movie called 11/22 because that's also the day that John F. Kennedy got assassinated. But the movie is using 11/22 as like it's a time portal, okay? Which happens to be my mom's birthday, okay? And it's interesting because her name is Angel. Well, Angela is actually her middle name. Her first name is a Greek name that she never goes by, but it means friend of God. And when you look at the second one, it said my previous balance was 138.16, but the first arrow says I paid them nothing. In the new charges, they said see below is minus 138.16. How the hell do I go from owing you to minus 138.16? And my amount due is 0 and I have no payment due. And I said, oh, I know what this is. I have to figure out what the hell 138 means. Now, back then, I was heavy in my Kabbalah game. And this is one of the reasons why I personally don't do numerology, because if I was to do 1 + 3 is 4, 4 + 8 is 12, 1 + 2 is 3, 3 + 1 is 4, 4 + 6 is 10, 1 + 0 is 1, 138, 16 is 1. It's not going to speak to the deeper essence for me to what is going on. So the Kabbalistic encyclopedia is a blessing to be able to figure out numbers and what the angelic frequency of your higher self is trying to get your attention to look at. So 138 in Hebrew is Ben Elohim. Ben Elohim means the son of God. No shit. And I'm sitting up here like, oh, that's very interesting, because the shit is actually due on my mama's birthday. You know what I'm saying? Am I saying I'm a son of God? You goddamn right. I'm saying I'm a son of God. And so are you, sons and daughters of God. Okay? All right. Sacred Heart in the 7th house. Remember, you got to have spiritual union in your relationships, man. All right? You got to. All right? You got to have spiritual union in your relationships. All right? So, okay, manifesting bliss is in the money house. So manifesting bliss got it in the 2nd house. Meditate on money. Everybody do something as it pertains to checking for the check. Being in a state of gratitude is phenomenal. There's a free PDF out there called The Magic. Me and my group, we've done this years ago. We've done it a few times, and every time we get in the zone, you have something unexpected pop up. It's a PDF by Rhonda Byrne, same lady that wrote The Secret. She wrote a book called The Magic. It's a PDF online, and you can do those daily 28 practices. 2 practices you're gonna do every single day on top of the daily practices, which is find 10 things to be thankful for every day, and at night you are to recall your most favorite thing throughout the day and give thanks to it 3 times by holding your gratitude rock. This could be a crystal, it could be whatever you want it to be. It's just an anchor. It's an anchor object. And right before you fall asleep, you need to recall that. Stop going to sleep to TV and TV shows and shit. Go to sleep visualizing the end game of which you desire next in your life. This Neptune thing of consciousness, ladies and gentlemen, again, you got to understand this. There's a cheat code in the universe for us. The cheat code is the sleep world. Right before you fall asleep, lucid, that spot right there. And then in the dream world, years ago, I was going to create something called the Neptune Dream Institute. And I'll do it once I get the homestead off in the country, where we get together and we practice and listen to the same shit. And we're going to synchronize our dreams and meet at the same location, and then cross-reference that data to see if we are picking up on each other in real time. That's the evolution of consciousness that me and my brother, Minister Jew, deal with. You understand what I'm saying? That, like, literally, okay? So, right when you falling asleep in the sleep world, remember, when you go to sleep, you ain't even you. It ain't you, your conscious self. It's the super you. We got to program and align the super you with the goddamn desired state of where we're going, so the super you can go out in that goddamn world and do the work. Why the super you? Because the super you don't know shit about time, and it don't care about space. This is why 1 minute in the dream you flying and your car is flying and shit, and next thing you know, you at the movies. And then the scene change at the blink. It don't even blink. It just changes. And you don't even see it change. Who be in a dream and you see the scene change and you be like, oh, wait a minute, I don't want to leave the game and go to the concert. Like, it just morphs in instantaneously. So the super you don't care about space and time. And the super you can also go and mess with the things that are physical. Hence, other people can dream about you. My spirit body was good for that shit. People be telling me, yo, nigga, you popped up in my dream and shit, right? Super good for that shit. Or like you just saw, somehow my energy manipulated a piece of technology that says when we spit this bill out, it's going to say, here you go. You know, you don't owe us anything. And we got these case studies. Minister Jew has personal experiences with this shit. We didn't been, man, we got some mystical stories for days. For real, that really defines physics. It defines physics. I've been in 2 locations at the same time. This dude then been at a store and went to another location. And then when he went to another location, the receipt of the second location is bearing the time as if he was in the first location. But all the while, when he in the second location, he's getting something free that he should have been paying for. You understand what I'm saying? So this kind of understanding, if you knew, like, just hold on tight. Put your feet on the ground, get grounded, hold on tight. Because the super dream you can do phenomenal shit and do it every day. It transcends space and time when you sleep. So there's a part of us that can come online and we just try to marry that consciousness together so we can move, okay? All right, so second house, though, get on your money game, big time. So we got the 12th, the 7th, the 6th, the 8th, the 5th, the 9th, the 3rd, the 1st, the 2nd. I'm missing some. Number 4, anybody got it in the 4th house? Ooh, if you got Neptune in the 4th house, man, you can channel dead people. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? You can channel dead people if you got it in the 2nd house, all right? Who is that? What's your name? Crystal Lynn? I talked about the 6th house earlier. The 6th house, you have a mystic healing ability. Use that shit to heal people, okay? Like if you got it in the 6th house, I'm sorry. I have to. I'm not trying to push my lifestyle on you. Do what you want to do. But I'm going to ask you to study the dietary law and see how your spirit feels, which is your vitality. Because remember, you go to the hospital, they want vitality, right? So see how your vitality feels when you go through purification processes of fasting and eating plant-based and stuff like that. See how you feel. See how much clearer you click. See, when you stop the physical chemical production, the spirit inside of you is just ready to rock and roll. Don't pay no mind to the brain and the stomach that's saying, I'm growling because I'm contracting and I'm hungry. It's contracting, and now what's happening is it's squeezing the essence of the spirit. Is what happens when you squeeze. When you squeeze, you bulk up, right? So now the spirit is starting to come, but we equate that with I'm hungry, so I must eat and dumb myself down again. You see what I'm saying? You got it in the 6th house. You got a mystical healing ability, and find what that is. Okay. All right, that's right. Neptune in the 9th is the Neville Goddard shit. Like Rob Browder said, Neville Goddard is one of Jew's Mount Rushmore's personally sense of inspiration. He's taken the baton and definitely have done something. Honestly, this technique that he has called the positron pass, it really should be documented, and it can win a Nobel Peace Prize. Like I'm not bullshitting when I say that. Like, seriously, you can win a Nobel Peace Prize. It is a game changer in the space-time continuum. But humanity as a whole hasn't caught up yet, because you can change the past. Can you change the physical event that like it never occurred, which means it didn't happen? No, it happened. But can you go back and augment it in your mind's eye and then get an effect from it in your current time reality? Yes, you can. One of my favorite studies, which is the reverse of the positron, which is the futuretron. The futuretron, there's a study by the name of a Dr. Leonard Biovici. And if you Google it, it's called Retroactive Study in Prayer. And it was a 10-year case study where he took, I want to say 3,393 patients. Okay. And some of them were going to be prayed for from, I think, 1980 to 1990. Okay? So some is going to get prayed for, some ain't going to get prayed for. And we're going to pray for these people right now, today, in 3 different areas. Well, I take that back. We're going to pray for them, and then they measured 3 different areas. Their death rate, how fast they recover from the illness, and how fast they went home. The people who got prayed for had a slightly lower death rate than the people who wasn't prayed for. They went home faster, which means they recovered faster. But here's the kicker. These people in 1980 didn't get prayed for until goddamn 1990, and they had already went home in 1980. So meaning they wouldn't get prayed for until 10 years later. If you got prayed for at the tail end in 1990, then you just got prayed for the same year, but you still got prayed for after the fact. So it was as if something knew they were going to get prayed for in the future, and they got the result now. Go Google it. It was an Israeli doctor by the name of Leonard Biovici, A Study in Retroactive Prayer. You need to know that shit. And you need to copy, paste, screen save that shit for your studies. Because as you go further in this, that is something that you absolutely need to have in your catalog as you go on this journey through consciousness. That's how dope this thing is, okay? All right. Neptune, the only planet in the 4th house. If you got Neptune in the 4th house, you can communicate with family members that are deceased. You are an ancestral oracle, a gateway, and also you could assist people. And those of you who got it in the 12th, this is for you too. Shit, the 8th too, the water houses, the 12th, the 4th, and the 8th. You can assist people in hospice who are dying. See, when people die, man, if they ain't prepared, fear and stress, and that's troublesome. It's a horrible pill for reincarnation. To be in a state of peace, to be able to facilitate. I never forget, I told you, I was initiated in this shit by my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mom's grandma initiated me into the spirit shit at a real early age because she requested that little old Chucky, me, come and see her on her deathbed. They wouldn't allow kids in, but they allowed me in. And she was dying, and she asked me, did I see the light over there in the corner? And I said, yeah. And she told my mama, he's special, and I'm going to always be with him. Now, speed that shit up. My very first astro class that I ever held in Philly, held it at the crib. My downstairs used to be like a medical office for a doctor. Then at one time it was a hair salon. So the landlord let me rent the bottom space, and I had it as a little bookstore. Then I'd fuck that bookstore shit. I wanted to do, it's a spiritual space. You come meditate, we teach classes on this shit. After my first class, I actually overbooked. Okay. After they all left, I had a picture of Anubis, Anpu, the Egyptian, joint on my wall. Now, either it was the power of my mind or this external shit was real. And I said, Grandma, thank you. If you with me, knock that Anpu picture down. And I swear to God, that Anpu picture came down off that wall onto the floor. And I said, bet, it's on and popping. I get it. You understand what I'm saying? So if you got Neptune in the 4th, you got to test spirit. You got to test this thing. All right. You got Neptune in the 4th. You are a medium. You got ancestral communications. And man, I wish you the best of luck. It's a beautiful energy and placement. I don't even tell people to get into ancestral worship unless I see the placements. You got Neptune in the 4th. You one of them ones. All right. I can't negate it. Okay. It's there. All right. All right, man. All right. Mercury in the 12th as well. Solar power had me seeing all type of thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what's up. Damn, girl, you was in solar power. So Tanya had talked about solar power. I had this program called Solar Power 111. And for a whole year, you do certain solar meditations and certain mantras and sounds as it pertains to your personal birth chart. So everybody don't have the same shit. So although right now the sun in the sky can be in Libra, Libra for me may be my 5th house. So then I may say something as it pertains to the 5th house, but if Libra in your 10th house, you're dealing with a whole nother area of focus. You see what I'm saying? So it was customized. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, I swear to God, man. I'm gonna tell you some shit that I'm really, in my opinion, I think I'm super dope at. Is making, how many of y'all here took advantage of the 333 subconscious money continuum that I had, that I put out there? And it's a custom MP3 that you have to say, I am so happy and grateful now that I receive money from real estate on a continuous basis. And then I take the sounds, certain frequencies, spiritual sounds, chakra sounds, things of that nature, and let your voice go on top of those sounds so you can listen to your own self, because your mind knows you. You can listen to your own self, and then that is going to allow you to teach your super consciousness what it is that you're trying to do. So I'm actually about to get back in the lab and make some custom stuff for people. So basically, like this is where it's at. Where it's at is about you being able to guide yourself. Me and Jew talk about this all the time. And Jew started it in a sense. He always came up with this term, man, fuck that J-hook shit. This people out here got a J-hook, meaning they don't never want you to get off of their system, right? And for us, it's, hey, this is the platform. This is how long it is. But go out, share with the world. Go, do you. We're not trying to J-hook you into, oh, now pay this for this. Okay, you finished with now pay this for this level. You know what I mean? It's just going to be all up front in what it is. You understand what I'm saying? And there ain't nothing wrong with being a student for life, because you're always going to be a student for life. You always going to be a student. Always. Okay. But you get the gist of what I'm really saying. All right. All right, Katush, you're welcome. You got it. All right. All right. So let me see here. That's right. The drowsy state. My daughter has it in the 4th. So that means, see, your daughter has it in the 4th. That means that she will always have ancestors that commune with her. And then since the 4th house is the house of mommy, you should be really practicing. This is what you do. I used to do this practice with people. You start small, and this is what you do. Pick a number 0 through 5, and y'all practice that. Just 0 through 5, and see how often you can nail it. So you would take turns, right? So I'm sending Sanchia a number. In fact, I'm impressing that number on her forehead, 0 through 5, right now. I'm sending it to her. I can see her, and I'm painting it on her forehead. Okay? So you can start with these kind of practices to see if your person can pick up on it. Then deal with the 3 primary colors. Okay? The 3 primary colors is red, blue, and yellow. Some say green, but trust me, it's yellow. Okay? Red, blue, and yellow. The 3 primary colors of light. Pick a color and then see yourself, or coloring that person is draped in that color, and see if they can pick up on the color. It's only 3 to pick from. So you start small, 0 through 5, or 3 primary colors, to start to get your training wheels going for your psychic phenomenon to kick in. Okay? So these are great practices that you can do, really basic stuff. All right? All right, Sanchia, you got that number I put on your forehead? All right. So what does Neptune and Cat mean? Hold on one second. You got some mail from me? In the mailbox. Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. So what does it mean to have it in Cat? All right, so that's going to be on average a 14-year group of people. The ones who have it in cap, to me, in my opinion, there's a physical answer to that and there's a spiritual answer to that. Okay, so remember in Masonry, or if you go to the tarot card, the High Priestess has a pillar that say J on it, and then another pillar that says B. One is spiritual and one is physical. Okay, I think more on the physical side of it. All right, the physical side of it is going to pertain more to the law, but divine law incorporated into government. In other words, the highest that this really could be, Neptune in the 10th or in Cap, is a Supreme Court justice. The 10th house is government. This also could mean working in hospitals or some type of institution, without a shadow of a doubt. It could be hospice. It can be a prison. It can be an insane asylum. You know what I'm saying? It's working in some type of institution. Those are physical components. I think the spiritual component of that is, how do you galactic activate? Because if the 10th house is government, and if the government is not yet perfect, if it suffers, and it does, then your beef with government ain't Martian. Martian is physical. Neptune is spiritual. So how do you use the mind, the imagination, to influence governmental actions? Now that shit may sound crazy as hell. What the hell do you mean imagining and using your mind to influence government officials and government policy? I'll say this. If you go to the day the Supreme Court ruled in favor of same-sex marriages in Washington, D.C., there was a physical rainbow in the sky, ladies and gentlemen. So light was responding to their emblem that they chose, which is all of the colors in the visible spectrum of light, which encompasses our entire reality. The rainbow flag is perhaps the dopest fucking emblem that you can have, to be honest with you, because in the visible spectrum of your reality, that's all the fuck you can see. Okay? You ain't seeing nothing that ain't within that spectrum, and they encompass that. And the day that they got their victory from the highest court of the land, a goddamn physical rainbow appeared in the sky. Man, you can miss me with that. I'm sorry, they tied into some whole other shit. So I'm gonna have to say, you got that one. That was dope. So just as that random external light appeared in conjunction as a correspondence to a government ruling, I am telling you, without a shadow of a doubt, and we know from practice, our collective thoughts, especially that generation with Neptune and Cap, your collective thoughts, especially if I take you or you go to a mountaintop, your collective thoughts will start to influence humanity. That's the spiritual side of it. Okay? So it depends on what side you want to play on. All right. All righty. All right. Gail, what's up, Gail? Where you been, Miss Gail? Neptune in the first house. We did the first house system, Michael. Now that's on your head. So it's emanating straight from your mind. Real easy. The third, same thing, but it's because it's in the mind. It's Gemini house. You know what I'm saying? So I think we caught up. We got the 7th, the 2nd, the 1st, the 3rd. We talked about the 4th. I'm missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 6. I remember 7. We did 8. We did 9. Oh, the last one. We did the last one is Aquarius. Neptune in the 11th. You got spiritual friends. Spiritual friends. you also could utilize, you can create some type of application because there's something with spirituality and technology. But you got spiritual friends. And if your Neptune's afflicted, then you got deceptive friends. But you're really here, you're looking for spiritual friendships when you got Neptune connected to the 11th house. So you going on spiritual retreats with people, that is mandatory when you got Neptune in the 11th. You know what I'm saying? Neptune in the 11th, you gotta go on these spiritual retreats with groups of people, birds of a feather that flock together. You know what I'm saying? Neptune in the third, going back to Tanya too, travel with spirituality, short travels. In your backyard, there are some beautiful places. Mount Shasta, Serpent Mound in Ohio, Stone Mountain, although Confederate, used to be Confederate, but that's ours now. Spirit World gave you Tupac and Stone Mountain. That's why Spirit put Tupac and Stone Mountain to let you know that that whole order is dead, because Tupac shot at 2 off-duty white cops and they didn't even pursue the case. It wasn't not guilty, they dropped it. And racist, ask Georgia, where they do that at? That's a spiritual thing. Mississippi, Emerald Mounds. The Emerald Mound. If you in New Orleans, that whole shit is just magical. Louisiana, you can go a little bit north to Poverty Point. The Blue Mountains in the Carolina mountain chain, the Catskill Mountains, part of the Appalachian Mountains in upstate New York. Upstate New York is beautiful. Man, you just got many vortexes all over the place. All over. Southern Illinois, known as Little Egypt. Cahokia Mound in Southern Illinois, right across the river from St. Louis. Sedona, Arizona. Sedona, Arizona is not for, to me, in my opinion, it's not for groups, although I took groups there, but it's not for groups. Sedona, for me, is about subtle love. Sedona is really for lovers. It's you got to learn how to read subtle energy. Subtle, it's not loud. It's kind of like Shasta. I told you, and then like, you cry when you go to Mount Shasta. They went to Mount Shasta, and he was crying. The Jew was crying. The nigga with a Capricorn moon was crying. They got him. He was crying. I said, I told y'all, man, you go to Mount Shasta, you will cry. I've been there firsthand. Google something called the Oregon vortex. In Oregon, there's a vortex where the balls roll up the hill and not down the hill, and the brooms stand still by themselves. It's called the Oregon vortex. Okay. Grandfather Mountain in North Carolina. Chimney Rock in North Carolina. It's extreme, a lot of light inside in that little region of Asheville. Asheville is known as the Sedona of the East. It's the spiritual capital east of the Mississippi River. And Sedona is the spiritual capital west of the Mississippi River. Denver, being a mile high, is dope. So you got a lot of places in America in your own backyard. If you got Neptune in the third, even, and like I said, anybody, you can activate any of these principles at any time. But you got Neptune in the third, traveling in spirituality, these short trips, weekend retreats become paramount to your spirit. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Visiting shrines, like you said, Mother Cabrini Shrine is, well, not a shrine. In Denver, it is said that Mother Cabrini took a staff and hit a rock and it started flowing with water. And to this day, people go there and fill their water jugs up. It's just sacred places all over the earth that have. That's why I say, you can say what you want to say. The Catholic boys got some shit. They got some saints that they was like, oh, that's a saint. And that's who they named the Cabrini Green projects off of. The first part, Cabrini, was named after a Catholic saint, female, Mother Cabrini, who hit a rock out in Denver, and there's ever flowing water coming from that spot right now. Okay. Let me see. Is that all 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got all 12. We got them. All right. All right, man. So that pretty much concludes in a sense, man. Unless you got a question for me, what I got going on, man. Make sure y'all get my partner's book, Minister Jew. I just had to mail one out to Brother Kerry today. Shout out to the Kerry and Kennedy family. We appreciate you and whatnot. But Hip Hop Laws of Attraction, you know what I'm saying? We got the books over there, man. So if you want some, come get some. You know what I mean? It's worth the while. You can get it from Jew's website, The Imagination Guru, or you can get it off Amazon, whatever you feel comfortable with. Jackie Brown, we said Neptune in the 7th house. I don't care about the sign because 14-year group of people got it in the sign. It's the house that matters. If you got it in the 7th house, Miss Jackie Brown, it is all about you being in soul union. Your partner, 7th house is partnerships. It's your marriage partner and business partner. And it's also the house of open enemies. Open enemies get exposed. But you're looking for spiritual companionship. You're looking for spiritual companionship when that happens. Okay, when you got it in the 7th. All right. What is you watch comedy movies? What if you watch? I mean, you can watch comedy. Listen, you watch what you want to watch, but I get it. Comedy is fun, it's funny, and that's dope. That's a good study. To watch something that's funny and to see if the fun translate into your subconscious, because happiness is equated with fun, and happiness and positive emotions accelerate what you're doing and whatnot. But the goal is to be in tune with the end game of which you are imagining. And I'm gonna come with y'all, man. I'm gonna do it in the Wealth Club first. I'm gonna make these personal, custom made, things that deal with the imagination. I got some stuff, and I don't know if any of y'all here ever. Some of y'all may have got the family vault, but literally, it's a guided MP3 meditation where you go in the vault and you got money, and it's a money counter down there, and your mom and daddy is counting money. And that's important because a lot of us never seen our mother and father do anything collectively together. And we have to bridge that particular gap and mend that and fix that within us to make us whole. And even if you think it's not connected, trust me, it's connected, because I'm going to tell you like this. Saturn in the 2nd house comes like this. Saturn is your father. Sometimes it's mommy, but oftentimes it's more of dad. And Saturn in the 2nd house is your daddy in your money house. And now you think that you just got some shit going on with money, but you don't know that it's really your relationship with your father that's impeding your relationship with your goddamn money. You understand what I'm saying? And you can do it in the signs. Like Jew made a statement earlier, because I got Saturn and Leo, so therefore having fun and playing games ain't really my cup of tea. I play the games that I'm interested in, you know what I'm saying? But watching, like, I'm not going to watch no game. I got ADD like a motherfucker. I'm not about to watch no basketball game and no football game. I got way too much shit on my mind. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's interesting though, because my dad just told me, I just heard my dad say he loved me for the first time this year at 44. Am I 44? I was born in 77. So I think I'm 44. I don't even count, but yeah, I think I'm 44. I don't sound right saying 40. Yeah, I'm 44 because I'm in my pre-birth year. And 45 is your rebirth year when your whole car start all over again. So yeah, I'm 44. So at 44 years old was the first time me hearing my dad say he loved me, because his father never told him he loved him. The way that, from his own words, out of his mouth, the way that a parent show you that they love you is what they do. And that was him. He was a provider. And so naturally with Saturn in the second, what happened? Now here come the cosmic blueprint. I'm inheriting some of his motherfucking qualities. So his qualities was he worked a job because he's a baby boomer, born in 57. So he worked a job all his life since he was 10 years old. Worked part-time job, and then worked on cars on the weekend, and then had a full-time job second shift. Okay. So Sunday was the day that we'd get up, he'd take me and my cousins, we'd go to putt-putt, we'd play putt-putt golf and video games. We'd go to the pancake house first, then we'd go to putt-putt. And then he'll come back on Sunday, and then he'll work on cars or something. And then we may go before dinner. When we go to Ponderosa, right? That was the fucking routine. The pancake house or Frisch's. Well, we definitely going to Ponderosa for dinner. And then if we don't go to putt-putt after breakfast, we'd go down to the high school. Even though we weren't in high school yet, we'd go down to the high school, and he'd throw the football with us. You see what I'm saying? So we only had one day of quality time per se, which was Sunday in a sense. And everything else was just provide. So naturally I took that on because that was my living example. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say this should be connected to other stuff based off of, based off what the planet represents. Your daddy planet, your mommy planet, and then if it's associated with relationships, then it may be you got something to deal with in your relationship that you need to resolve on with the parents, so it triggers the relationships in your own life. You understand what I'm saying? Because what's happening in the body, ladies and gentlemen, is if you have negative memories, that's taking up space somewhere on your hard drive called your hippocampus. You have to shift that file and move it to a different location to give it a good memory. Okay. And now once you free up, because negative energy holds a lot of space, it holds more energy than positive energy. This is why, because it's easier to go downhill faster. The law of gravitation shows you that. This is smile goes upward. But when you go uphill, what happens? It's resistance. It tires you out. When you're lifting weights and going up, that resistance tires you out. But when you're going down, you accelerate. Negative energy accelerates faster than godly upward energy. It just does, right? But we got to free that energy up. So if you got a negative down energy, if we can change the charge of that mental memory, you free up that space. And now since you freed up that space, you've now just triggered more room for improvement in another area of your life, whether you know it or not. This is why in this book right here, he talked about money. And you can meditate on $1 million all the fuck you want to. You ain't gonna get $1 million if certain things, what he described, Yogananda described as, if you got certain karmas about yourself, it ain't coming to you until certain shit get resolved. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's the same principle at work right here. All right. You can't have unresolved issues. You know what I'm saying? Because it's eating up precious space in your mind and your energy field. Okay. All right, so listen up real fast before we get out of here. All right, I'm doing something. I'm about to make some new video content to share what I'm doing because I got a phone call today and I just authentically love this particular space. Let me see. Let me see if I got a picture of it. Let me see if I have a picture of it because I can show you better than I can tell you, man. Who is this? Oh, okay, that's my man. I can show you better than I could tell you. Okay. I think I showed y'all, but here it is right here. I gotta black out certain things, right? Can you see it? 922, right? Oh, just in case you think nigga from the Prosperity Investment Group. All right. So what was that? See, do y'all remember when I used to do spring equinox and spring equinox, summer solstice, fall equinox trips. I've been doing this since 2011, right? I probably stopped in 15 probably was the last year. And so it's been 6 years I took a break from taking people on spiritual voyages because I had did it from 2011 all the way up to 16. So I did it for like 5 years. You see that check was on the fall equinox. I've showed a webinar. I can show you when I closed on properties. Somehow, some way, like that was a wholesale deal. That person had to call me. I had to get it in contract. He had to agree to a price. It ain't like I bought it, like I'm purposely going to buy some shit. If you understand the process of wholesale, I'm getting it in contract at such a good deal that I could sell my rights to the contract to someone else. Okay. But it's my intention to buy it, but my financing may fall out. It did, you know what I mean? And I was able to wholesale it. So now instead of me going to here's my point. I've used these sacred points for years, ladies and gentlemen, equinoxes and solstice, to purposely be doing something to advance myself, whether it's pure mental meditation, spiritual, or now financially making sure I'm just working. And what's happening is the checks are coming to me on these dates in time because I already got a track record of doing something in this date and time. Because usually when you pay for the trip, all the money come in, I got to go pay for the hotel. I got to go pay for the goddamn rental van and something. So I'm already in this cosmic groove, baby. There's a cosmic groove. All right. So this is what I want to show you. Okay. This is what I want to show you. Because I don't never want money to be a barrier. I know what that's like to feel like I can't get in the game and advance myself because nobody will put me on. I am telling you, this is the easiest money that you can get that will change your life. And I got a one-on-one mentorship for it. If money's a barrier, we can come to an agreement. And I'll tell you what that agreement is. Because I know what my intention is. Ain't nothing theft proof. I had to remember explaining this to Jew. You just ain't got enough muscle to go take Fort Knox. You ain't nothing theft proof. So I'm not worried about people stealing and they ain't gonna pay. I don't worry about that kind of shit. Okay, because I know my intention and I know I'm gonna always be blessed. If money's an issue and you ain't got $997 to get into this personal mentorship to show you how to make thousands of dollars, then we can just do a simple verbal agreement that of your deal flow, we can do an 80-20 split and you get motherfucking 80% of it. Okay. I'm willing to, and this is what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna let my callers call for you. Okay. I can show you with Jalen. He's one of our members. He just started and he got over 10 leads already in the system. Already. Now we got to go verify those leads and see is the price too high? Is it really a good deal here? But it's traction. And that's my point. We're gaining traction. Okay. I'm going to allow my callers to call for you. You ain't got to do the heavy lifting and calling and people saying, fuck you, don't call me. They're going to call for you. They're going to set appointments for you. The only thing you got to do is set an appointment. Okay. Once you get the appointment set, when they set the appointment for you and they call you, your job is to just figure out what the price is. I'm going to walk you through that process of what the price is. Okay. And let me see if I can find it. All right. But I'll tell you. And if y'all want to, that's just the Cash App stuff. But this is the website right here. So they're going to tell you what they're going to set the appointment for you. Once you get the appointment, you're going to see what the price is and shit. Okay. Only thing that you got to pay for out your pocket, ladies and gentlemen, is all I'm asking you to pay for your phone numbers because you have to get phone numbers. All right. There's some real estate stuff right here. Dude got a duplex and he want me to help him out. Hey, Carl, let me call you right back, man. I'm on YouTube, but say hello to everybody, man, because I'm talking real estate, but I'm gonna call you right back. All righty, cool. All right. You got to say hello to everybody, though. Say hello to everybody they're listening to. All right, man. Later. Hey, enjoy. All right, man. I get with you, man. All right. Sure. All right. So that's my cool Spanish dude. But So anyway, I'm gonna let my people do the calls. You set the appointment up, you call on the appointment, pay for your phone records, which is only 12 cents a phone number. That is it. 12 cents a phone number. I always say for $100, you get 833 phone numbers. I'm going to use the technology to help you filter out the properties. You want vacant properties? I'm going to show you get vacant properties. You want owner absentees? These are landlords that don't live there, but you know they landlord because the public tax record, they got a different mailing address for their taxes. That's a landlord. You want to target them? Boom, let's do it. Okay? Only call the people who indicated that they wanted to sell. That's a hot ass lead. You ain't got to call all these people. Somebody else going to call them, and then the people who indicate that they want to sell, them are the warm leads. You call them, okay? Once you call them, you get on base. I got you from that particular point, show you what the number should be. They agree to the number. You put the shit in contract. I get you the contract. Use my contract. I'll send you the template for it. Use a contract. This is easy freaking money. We did 6 figures this year. This shit is easy. So listen, man, I can't understand why you be doing anything else. This shit, listen, easy. I got the whole system set up, and that's my job, is to come back and give it to you, give it to the people. You know what I used to say in my old videos when I talk real estate? It's the Black Robin Hood bringing the goods back to the hood, and that's you, the people. I'm gonna give it to you. They give you the game. If money is truly an obstacle for you right now, you really have financial issues. Listen, you just need $100 to get your first 833 phone numbers and start with that. I have my people call. You know I pay them people. I'm paying them anyway, so I'm just adding to their work, to my workload. Go ahead. I'm already paying you. I pay for the technology every fucking month. Okay, I got PropStream, that's $100 a month. I got Mojo Dollar, that's gonna be like $125 a month. I gotta pay $400 a month for a caller, right? Because that's $100 a week. You know what I mean? That's already like what? I don't know, $800 already every month off rip. You understand what I'm saying? If you can't afford that, you don't have that system in place. I got the system, man. Utilize your homie who got Jupiter in Taurus, big money in the 11th house with friends. My friends drive Benzes. We all loaded, man. That's what we do. My job is to help out, and let's go get it. All right? Absolutely no excuses why you can't do this shit. I'm taking all that shit away. All right? Easy peasy, easy shit. Get with me. If this information, if anything was of value to you, hey man, I ain't afraid to ask for a donation. You can just drop whatever you want to drop in the Cash App. It's all good with me. Come join me, the Family Wealth Club, man. That's where I'm kicking it at these days. And we really about to turn up over there because I finally got an event coordinator that's about to line up some stuff for the members privately and whatnot. Let me tell you the biggest benefit. You guys got to learn how to get access to data first. When you get access to data, like this phone call right here, this is a duplex. It's getting harder and harder because the real estate market is hot. It's getting harder and harder to find deals. So duplexes, triplexes, quads, this stuff is getting hard. This is an off-market duplex that the world don't know is for sale because it's not on Zillow. It's not listed. The world don't know it's for sale. I can hit you up and say, hey, you got a duplex here. If you're in position to be able to do it, you're in position to do it. And you can be like, yo, give me that one. Okay? This is how my man Van, he got a 4plex. Like, what? Oh, hold on. Let me go get a loan from the VA, bro. Let me go get this. And I'm going to move up there and live in one of the apartments and rent the other 3. Let's go, bro. Bam, that's done. Coley Cole, like, oh, what? Hold on. I ain't making no money over here. I'm only getting like 4% a year. I'm about to take this money out, do a self-directed IRA. I'm going to make 8% over this. Give me this house and this house. And these 2 houses are next door to each other. My people just retired. They just retired, needed something. Yo, I got a duplex. I made $7,000 off of it, selling it to them real fast. They bought the duplex, and now he get rental money every month. Why? Because firsthand information is the key. And that is the primary thing that you need to have. Information that's going to give you an opportunity that's going to meet you on the level that you're on. That's the key, and that's called private networking with each other. Okay? Y'all see it at the bottom. Get with me, man. Hit me up if you need me. All right? Peace. Appreciate you.